Ladies and gentlemen, what a complicated story. With this one, I have to tell you guys a lot of details because it involves a number of things. It involves a father, it involves irresponsibility, and it also falls under the fact that you know that 2020 has been marred with this thing called COVID-19, coronavirus, or whatever the case is. And it's caused us a lot of difficulty when it comes to how we live as Americans, how we run our businesses, and and also how we are letting criminals out of jail, even those who are convicted of violent crimes. So I have a little bit of a story to tell you guys about this individual that you see on my screen who literally in the face looks like a prototypical criminal. Now, I know they say that you should not judge a book by its cover, but damn it, I'm going to tell you, if y'all judge the book by its cover like I judged this individual, then you know that you were probably correct. Okay? Now, the individual that you see on my screen and know you're not seeing things, that's the same person right there. But let me go ahead and back up on that picture. This individual's name is Matthew Garcia, who is 24 years old. And we recently reported allegedly murdered his own infant. This man is charged and arrested with murdering his own child, his own infant. And he also was arrested in June of 2009 last year for home invasion in Stockton, California. If you guys are wondering where Stockton, California is, we've talked about Stockton, California, and shout out to Billy Simone Williams and the family out there. You guys know that that was a very difficult story that we talked about with regard to her father and stepmother, who we're still trying to sort that case out, but that family is out there in Stockton, California. But nonetheless, he is also an individual who was arrested for home invasion. But the crazy part about the home invasion is that I believe he was a part of two home invasions at the same house. Excuse me, not the house, but the apartment. Him and his partner, let me see if I can get back to his partner's photo. This guy right here. Him and his partner were so bold that they returned to the scene of the crime to invade the same home twice. Okay? Now that's been confirmed by Stockton Police Department, hashtag not my words. Now, yet a year later, Garcia, a clearly dangerous criminal, is back on the streets, which sadly allowed him the ability to murder his own baby. Now, let me skip some of this part here. Actually, I'm going to try to read all of this. This website, and I want to give a shout out to 209times.com. And they said they have called, emailed, and left text messages for District Attorney Tori Verber Salazar and her Public Information Officer Angela Hayes trying to get answers. Hayes provided what they could only be classified as purposely misleading, a cryptic answer to many of our written questions. No, he did not participate in restorative justice program. When I again asked, go back. When I again asked if that meant Matthew Garcia had not participated in any diversion program, Angela Hayes told me she's no longer the DA's public information officer and that she didn't realize I was asking questions on behalf of a media organization, but thought rather I was asking for a friend. And for the record, we have never been friends. The DA's office has hired a new public information specialist that, to the best of our knowledge, does not have any legal or law enforcement training or experience whatsoever. In a futile attempt to justify the former DA public information officer's lie by omission, the new DA public information officer, Elisa Bubak, B-U-B-A-K, was instructed to write the following. As you will note, the defendant was not involved in any restorative justice programming, like Angela Hayes mentioned to you in a conversation yesterday. Again, I asked from the beginning if he was offered any diversion program. After much pushing, the DA's narrative has since evolved. Previously, Matthew Garcia pled guilty to attempted robbery and burglary. He was offered a 6-year state prison sentence, suspended for an extensive year-long live-in treatment program at the Jericho Project in November 2019. He refused the treatment program and opted for a state prison sentence. On January 28th of 2020, Matthew Garcia was sentenced by the Honorable Judge Ronald Northrop 3 years in state prison. Now, due to Governor Newsom's July 2020 edict on reducing the prison population during COVID-19, Garcia was released on August the 4th of 2020 and placed on parole. The San Joaquin District Attorney's Office was not notified of his early release. Bookmark that, okay? It should be noted that we believe a more accurate answer is Matthew Garcia entered a diversion program, failed it, returned to local custody, was transferred to CDCR for a 3-year sentence, and released early due to COVID, which ultimately led to the senseless murder of his own infant baby. We are pressing for further clarification, but again, it's clear that the DA did offer this violent criminal a diversion program for his home invasion offense, and that the DA's office has been less than forthcoming about it. Let me see. We have been relentlessly requesting clarification about Tory Verber Salazar's restorative justice and other diversion plans, a center pillar of Salazar's new controversial approach to crime, for a few months without success. Our grave concern has been that her radicalized policies have been influenced by some of the nation's other most radical district attorneys, that this would result in something as horrific as this situation. Sadly, as usual, we are right. Salazar's office has received several $1 million of grant money from the state to implement a program that prosecutors and police we speak with say that greatly endanger the public. How much more of this? Okay, there's a little bit more of this to read, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it to you guys. We have formally requested the following information from the district attorney. Number 1, was Garcia's home invasion prosecution handled by your office? We now know the answer is yes. Did this case go to trial? If not, why? Looks like he was offered a plea deal. Number 3, Matthew Garcia was a participant in any restorative justice or any diversion program. The answer was hard to pull out of the DA, but the answer is yes. He was offered drug diversion in lieu of a prison sentence. Number 4, will the San Joaquin District Attorney's Office incorporate this horrific failure in the statistics as they manufacture the success of their various diversion programs? Still unknown. Number 5, if Matthew Garcia would have participated in a diversion program for his home invasion arrest that he was offered by the DA, would that mean that his criminal history cannot be factored in whether determining his sentence for this crime? Isn't the part of the restorative justice philosophy to allow felons, including some of the most violent, to erase their criminal histories? Now, according to Prosecutors Alliance website that Tory Verber Salazar co-founded, the answer is yes. Now, Tory Verber Salazar has stated publicly she is against the death penalty. Does that mean she would not consider the death penalty in this case, where the innocent baby was senselessly murdered by a man with a criminal violent history? This fits the disturbing pattern that 209 Times has been alerting the public about for several months. Despite our repeated requests, Tory Verber Salazar has never explained how Rodolfo Buenrostro Corral, a close associate of Mayor Tubbs, could be arrested for allegedly raping and drugging a UOP student, but then be allowed to plead to what her public information officer, Angela Hayes, described as felony assault that did not require him to register as a sexual offender. Damn. Angela Hayes, to this day, refuses to provide the penal code he was charged with. How can a felony assault charge born out of a rape arrest not require him to register as a sex offender? We have never heard of such a thing, nor have the experts we have spoken with within the DA's office. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little tongue-tied. Sorry about that. They say something is seriously wrong with Tori Verber Salazar's policies and even her thought process, but that she will actively retaliate against any of her subordinates who do not support restorative justice. Let me say this real quick, because that is a lot of talking, and I think I'm going to ignore the rest of that because it's a lot to talk about. If y'all have ever wondered if your local elections matter more than your president does, then I've told you guys, this is where it counts. Because it seems as though this individual, what's her name? Tori Salazar? Yeah, Tori Verber Salazar. Let me see if I can look her name up specifically to find out what her actual title is. Been a major force in the San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office. So I don't know exactly what she does. Let me see. What is her title? It just says the San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office. She's a district attorney, so she's the DA. Those are things that you can actually vote on. So what I want to know is for the people in San Joaquin County and the people in Stockton, California, the people in California, who voted for her? Who voted her in? Because for the people who voted her in, I'm not saying that you should or should not have, but what I am saying is that you can actually see the remnants of the choices that you make depending on who you choose to be and who you vote in office. It does make a difference. So I'm just pointing that out and throwing that out there, that whenever you guys get your voting elections to come up, your president is not the only time that you guys vote. There are plenty of other times to vote, and your local elections matter more than anything. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let me let y'all hear the news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And like I say, if I'm wrong, but I thought y'all actually vote on your DAs, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've seen that on the ballot. Like, you can literally choose who you want to be in there, but I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm right or wrong about that. Here we go. Let's get it. Actually, let me refresh my videos here real quick. Give me just a moment. Get these pulled back up. All right, here we go.
A 2-month-old Stockton baby has died just days after his father was charged with child abuse. Police arrested 24-year-old Matthew Garcia Friday. His 2-month-old son was taken to UC Davis Medical Center with serious injuries. Garcia is still in jail tonight.
A 2-month-old baby in the hospital has died. Stockton police say that the child's father abused him. That man, 24-year-old Matthew Garcia, was arrested last week. Right now, he faces felony child abuse charges. Officers were called to UC Davis Medical Center on Wednesday to reports of a baby not expected to survive and with injuries that seemed like abuse. The baby died last night. Police say the abuse happened at the family home on East Marsh Street.
Father is under arrest in Stockton tonight on a child abuse charge. Police arrested 24-year-old Matthew Garcia after his 2-month-old son was taken to UC Davis Medical Center with serious injuries. The baby is currently in pediatric intensive care and is not expected to survive. Stockton police say their investigation continues and they're encouraging anyone with information to contact them.
Right now at 6, new information about a Stockton man accused of killing his 2-month-old son. Tonight we've learned he should have been in prison at the time. He was one of thousands of felons released early to reduce prison populations amid the pandemic. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tony Lopez.
And I'm Adrienne Moore. It's raising new questions about why his release was approved. CBS 13 investigative reporter Julie Watts is getting answers on that and why the DA was never told about it.
Let's first establish Matthew Garcia is a convicted felon who was supposed to be in prison last week.
Yes, you should have been in prison.
But San Joaquin County Deputy DA Angela Hayes explains even though Garcia had been convicted of felony burglary and attempted robbery, those are considered serious felonies, not violent felonies under the law. With credits, he was set to be released in December, which qualified him this year for early release under the governor's COVID-19 order.
A heinous home invasion targeting a house full of children.
We covered his arrest last year following a home invasion robbery with 5 young children in the apartment. Did you know he had been released?
No.
She says while they are often notified when a serious or violent felon is released early so they can warn victims, the state has not revealed the identities of the thousands of felons released amid the pandemic. Just to clarify, the state has not notified the DA's office of any of the serious felons they've released into your county.
Not since the pandemic has started. Apparently there was no plan in effect to notify district attorney's offices or victims of who was going to be released.
CBS 13 has been pushing the state for answers and transparency for months.
How many of these inmates are actually violent offenders?
And while the penal code doesn't require they notify the media or DAs, CDCR tells CBS 13 the department did send notification to members of various law enforcement arms as well as registered victims.
Had he served his term in prison, he would have been in prison on November 11th.
That's the day baby boy Garcia arrived at UC Davis Medical Center with serious injuries, according to the hospital, consistent with child abuse. He died from those injuries 2 days later.
Garcia's arraignment was set for today, but has been rescheduled for tomorrow.
If they hadn't stayed away from their own crime scene. A broken, boarded-up sliding glass window is one sign of the brazen home invasion at this Stockton apartment unit. Shattered glass still scattered on the ground after 2 suspects climbed up the balcony and broke through the window at around midnight, startling the 2 women and 5 children inside, ages 14, 10, 8, 6, and 1. The suspects demanding money from their victims.
That's crazy.
Dejanay Jackson lives in the same apartment complex with her young daughter. She says families here are already struggling to make ends meet without being targeted by criminals.
Well, how are you coming to low-income apartments expecting to find something? Obviously, we stay here because we don't got much already, you know?
Let me let y'all hear this again, man. Boy, we done did it again. We's done it again, boss. Let me let y'all hear this again. Oh my goodness.
Already struggling to make ends meet with.
These people that be doing these interviews just be telling on themselves because they just want them some camera time. Let me let y'all hear this again.
Without being targeted by criminals.
Well, how are you coming to low-income apartments expecting to find something? Obviously, we stay here because we don't got much already, you know?
Really? Let's listen at this again.
Meet without being targeted by criminals.
Well, how are you coming to low-income apartments expecting to find something? Obviously, we stay here because we don't got much already, you know?
No, ma'am, I don't know that you don't have much when you, A, are on camera with tattoos that cost a whole lot of money. Last time I checked, unless people are just doing a ton of free tattoos, that costs money. All across your chest, all across your arm, that costs money. And B, I'm sure that red weave had to have cost something. I'm sure that wasn't given to you by the Red Cross with the red weave in your head, huh? And number 3, the baby appears to have weave in her hair. Look, man, y'all can get mad if y'all want to, but they keep giving me the content to talk about. All you had to do was stay your simple ass inside the house and just not say nothing. Like, this might not have been your time to talk, right? Apparently, I guess doing your natural hair is just not an option anymore. You gotta slap something on top of your hair to curve it up, talking about it's a protective hairstyle, but you're spending money on stuff that you could actually not spend money on. I don't even understand how that makes any sense. how you're saying that we're broke, but no matter how broke we are, no matter whether our kids can't have decent clothes, decent shoes, decent bedding, decent apartments, somehow we can always find the money. If we can't never find no money to put food in these kids' stomach, we can always find money for weave. What did I say that was wrong about that? Might have hurt your damn feelings, but it's the truth. Look at and what she wore outside, Lord have mercy. She literally, like, I know they're little boy shorts or whatever. Those are literally underwear. Spandex underwear. So everybody can see how fat her butt is. So she can go make some more kids that ain't gonna have no daddy around. There's a reason that I'm saying that. So bear with me. Hopefully I'm not offending y'all too much that y'all not gonna miss the point of what I'm talking about.
On the ground after two suspects climbed up the balcony and broke through the window.
If y'all understand where I'm coming from, y'all please click that thumbs up. We only got a 323 thumbs up. My phone is not vibrating, so you're not donating, and that's okay. But what I do need you to do is click that thumbs up. Share the stream. We only got 322 thumbs up. Share the stream. Click the thumbs up. If I'm speaking some real talk right now, bow, bow, bow. Please click the thumbs up.
At around midnight, startling the two women and 5 children inside, ages 14, 10, 8, 6, and 1. The suspects demanding money from their victims.
That's crazy.
Dejanay Jackson lives in the same apartment complex with her young daughter. She says families here are already struggling to make ends meet without being targeted by criminals.
Well, how are you coming to low-income apartments expecting to find something? Obviously, we stay here because we don't got much already, you know?
Police say the victims left the apartment after the home invasion to call police from the safety of a relative's house. As they were on the call with cops, the victims received an alert from their indoor surveillance system app. The suspects were back in their home.
They came back like it was easy the first time.
Police arrived at the home and arrested this pair after they fled out the window they allegedly broke to get inside. Matthew Garcia and Mario Ochoa, both 23 years old. A heinous home invasion targeting a house full of children, then going back for more. Thankfully, none of those children or their parents are hurt. The suspects facing a long list of charges, including burglary and resisting arrest.
Terrifying. Thank goodness.
Look, guys, y'all don't come to hear the news. Y'all come to hear my commentary because y'all know I have an opinion, and most people should be here to listen to my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, I understand. But all I ask you to do is at least listen with an open mind and an open heart to my opinion and understand there's a reason, and a much bigger reason, why I'm saying what I'm saying. So let me put it into perspective for you. We are talking about this story because of the kids. We end up in this situation because somebody was negligent towards the kids. Does everybody understand that that's what every story that I talk about is about? Let's not focus on the weave. Let's not focus on the shorts. Let's not focus on all these kids being had outside of wedlock. Let's not focus on hashtag when you date thugs, you date death with tattoos up your neck. And I think that people with tattoos on their neck and face are crazy people. And those two dudes who look like each other's boyfriends is breaking into people's houses. It's still about the children first. That's what I keep trying to point out. And for 3 years now, I've been trying to point that out to people who will listen. If you get mad about anything else that I'm saying, then you have missed the mark. You have missed the point. Not only what I say is factual and accurate, but you still got to think about the kids, because everything that I talk about in a disparaging way affects the children in a negative way. Aha! Aha! So let's talk about this for a moment in closing, okay? Because it's very sad the fact that we don't even know the name of this little baby boy that was murdered. We don't know his name. We don't know his face. I was not able to give you guys a picture of the little baby that was murdered, which really, really sucks, because I want to be able to honor him and at least put some respect on that baby's name. But in America, what we're trying to do is so-called slow down the spread of the COVID-19 virus. And whatever means we have of doing that, whether it be to wear a mask on your face, whether to wear a cloth on your face, whether it be to sanitize surfaces, or whether that be to release dangerous criminals back onto the streets in order to slow down the spread of COVID, which I don't understand how that's supposed to slow down the spread of COVID by letting people who are convicted of violent crimes back onto the streets. Maybe there's some expert out there that could explain that to me. Maybe one of you guys know better than I do why they would want to release violent criminals back on the streets so you don't allow COVID into the prison system, I guess? Because there's too many people in the prison system and they could spread it faster to each other. I don't know. But if you think about that, why is that so important as opposed to the fact that he got out, apparently got some woman pregnant, gave birth to this baby, he beat this baby to the point to where this baby ended up in intensive care and it looks like this baby is going to die because of him, because y'all didn't want him to catch COVID. Matter of fact, if this dude is convicted of doing what we call a kick dough, kicking in people's windows, kicking in people's doors, and not only robbing it once, but twice, why wouldn't you want somebody like that to catch COVID? Can anybody explain that to me? Is there a logical reason why you don't want him to catch it and just leave him in his cell, leave him in isolation, put him in the hole, and just let him suffer it out? Why would you not want to do that? And when he passes away, then you could just dump his body somewhere. I think that'd be justice. Because clearly this fool don't know how to be a law-abiding citizen, nor does he care. He don't want to be a productive citizen. But yet you let him out and he had the ability to go do all of this stuff. It ended up murdering an innocent baby who couldn't speak for themselves nor defend themselves. Matter of fact, let's take this a step further. Because some of y'all didn't even post this in the comments section. How did he even get a woman pregnant? Let alone how, but who? Who was the woman? Who was the idiot that slept with a dude with tattoos all across his neck, who you know has a criminal record, who just got out of jail? And they said it was his kid. You slept with this dude, had a baby by this violent criminal, and you let this violent thug criminal, this thug lion out the thug zoo, and then y'all are surprised that this thug lion went and killed a baby. So are we just gonna ignore the fact that mom loved her a thug and put her kid in danger because she wanted to be around this thug who is clearly proven that he don't have any good common damn sense? Matter of fact, let's take it a step further. I want y'all to notice that even the people in that video said that these apartments are poor apartments. People don't have a lot of money in those apartments, like she said, even though she got weave and nails and her daughter got weave in her head. But apparently that I guess you're not too broke for weave and nails. But I digress. In the apartment that these two dudes broke into, not once but twice, what was so important inside of that apartment that not only they broke in, but they left the crime scene and then came back, which is how they got caught? Huh? But y'all are saying that these apartments are broke. So what is it that was so broken in these apartments that these two dudes went to not only risk their life and their freedom once but twice. If you ask me, I think that whoever had something in that apartment could have been something along the lines of either A. Matter of fact, I'll just go there. I'll say this is probably somebody who had drugs in that apartment. Drugs and money. Because they say they went to go steal money. But last time I checked, somebody in that apartment who had 5 children, how much money could they have if the reason that they live in this apartment is because they ain't got money? How does that make any sense? Matter of fact, and the fact that they didn't go bust in random apartments, they busted in this same apartment twice, meaning that they knew that they were going to the right apartment. Are y'all with me or am I losing y'all? Are y'all still with me? This is not random. They came back to the same apartment 2 times. So they know where they were going. They know what they were after. And if you had drugs and money or both in this apartment, then you would also have to ask, who was the person responsible that had those 5 kids there? Probably a mother with 5 kids and no man around. 5 kids, no baby daddies, no husbands. But y'all are claiming that they're victims. And they are further putting their children in danger. But I bet they won't investigate that. I bet they're going to just let that ride because of coronavirus, so we can't do no investigation into that. But I guess we need to just overlook that, put him back in jail. Matter of fact, it makes me wonder if they're going to let him back out of jail again because they scared of him catching COVID. It's really weird, man. It's a really weird time. But like I said, I hope that I don't even know how they can't figure out the fact that you don't need to release violent criminals back out to the street. I don't know. I just think that stupid is as stupid thugs. And they need to get this right. Matthew Garcia don't need to be out of jail, not now and not ever. All right? Rest in peace to that little baby who we don't even know the name. We don't know who the parents are. We don't know what was going on. But yeah, all of this just smells all the hell wrong. But I hope we get some more details and I hope they figure this out. Until we can figure this out, we're not going to get any real justice. I'm DJ Just J. We're keeping it real. It's just what we do because we advocate for our children first. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel, please.